All right, guys, in this quick video, I'm going to show you how to add vocals to your beats. Once you're done your beat, you want to go to the Suno Studio on the left side here. This is on the Premiere plan of Suno. All right, and what we're going to do is go to audio input and we're going to upload the beat. So let me grab a beat from our folder that we created during many live streams. So let's grab the Nipsey Hussle one. So we took vocals from Suno, we added it into FL Studio, made a beat around it. Now we're bringing the beat back into Suno. And the first thing we need to do is just upload the beat. We're going to hit save. This will save it to our library. And what I recommend you guys do is create a separate workspace. So think of workspace like buckets. You want to create different workspaces per your purpose of doing stuff. So if you're making West Coast beats, make a West Coast workspace. If you're making an R&B beat, make an R&B workspace so that any samples you generate will be loaded in that workspace. The way you change the workspace is the second tab here. Click here and you could change your workspaces. So again, this is an organized area that has all your stuff in it. So it will automatically add what you just uploaded to your workspace. So it should be the same exact beat. What we want to do is add vocals. We're going to click this little three dots right here. If you zoom in, these little three dots, okay, and then click where it says remix and let's go to add vocal. Okay, so what we can do is add lyrics. So I'm going to think of some lyrics real quick. All right, so I came up with some lyrics and I needed a rhyme word. So I used the word fine at the end. I couldn't figure out one last rhyme word. But here's the rhyme word. So once you guys have the lyrics, again, your audio is the input. So your beat is the input. We want to make sure we're on add vocals mode. This will add a vocal to this beat and we can tell it what style. So in this case, we're just going to leave the prompt as is. And we're going to put this in the Suno Studio course folder because we have a Suno Studio course at busyworksbeats.com. All right, which teaches you how I would use it as a music producer. Okay, there's a lot of ways to use Suno, but I use it in a very specific way. So let's hear what it came up with so far. Now we should be clear to tell it we want West Coast hip hop. In my head, I'm thinking Nipsey Hussle, but I forgot to even put that as the style. All right, so let's redo this. Let's put West Coast hip hop and hopefully it creates that type of tone. Now, as you guys will hear and see, you can't put in certain celebrity names. So if you guys want Nipsey Hussle style, you have to go to another LLM and type in Nipsey Hussle and tell it to give you a list that's comma separated that gives you his style of music. Let's just see what they created so far. Now notice the beat is different. This is why Suno Studio is important. It's kind of dope though. So high that I levitated. No hesitation when you go for greatness. This life is always about your reputation. This is hard. In the hidden hills, I'm too hard to find. Cost a quarter, now $1.99. They open up the score, we need a hotter line. Inflation burning money like you're paying a fine. Okay, so I like the singer approach. I wasn't even thinking on that type of wave. So that's interesting. Elevated, so high that I levitated. No hesitation when you go for greatness. This life is always about your reputation. In the hidden hills, I'm too hard to find. What used to cost. So again, we're just listening to the vocal, not the beat. Quarter, now $1.99. They upping up the score. We need a hotter line. That's fire. So I like this intro. This is crazy. Let's drag this into Suno Studio. Actually, before we do this, let's delete that. Let's drag our original track in here. Yeah, this is it. No hesitation when you go for greatness. This life is always about your reputation. Fire. Fire. man. Every time Suno does this thing, I'm like, how does it get better and better every single time? So what we need to do is drag the original instrumental into Suno Studio. And I'm going to stop here because I could clearly just keep going through these iterations. That's the thing about Suno is you'll hear more and more and you'll be like, you'll get decision fatigue because they're all going to be good. So I'm going to stop listening to tracks because I'm going to want to use the next one and the next one. We're going to click on the top of this track. We're going to go over to the right side where it says extract stems, and we're going to separate the vocals and instrumental. You don't need all the tracks to do this. We just need the vocal, so we can save some credits in that case. And let me switch sides, make sure I'm not on the wrong side of the screen. So what it's doing right now is it's taking this one file and making multiple files with the same exact instruments playing in the same exact timing. What we are going to do is use the original BPM of the beat, and we're going to try to match up the acapella. I could kind of visually see it did match the BPM. I could just visually see from the pointiness of the audio. So once this is done, we're going to hit insert all, okay? And this will insert the track. So we don't need the instrumental track, so we could turn that off. We just want the vocal track. Make sure you click on the vocal track. We want to set this tempo to on beat, okay? So basically what it's doing is time stretching the audio to match this BPM of our... It even did the singing part, which is dope. But let's make sure this verse lines up. Motivated, elevated, so high that I levitated. No hesitation when you go for greatness. This life is always about your reputation. I'm too hard to find. What used to cost a quarter, now $1.99. They up and up the score. We need a hotter line. Inflation burning money like you paying a fine. That was crazy. So it added a second verse. I have no idea what the second verse says. Okay, so it looks like it just does the singing part. The fact that it did a whole nother vocal in the same tempo, in the same style, is outrageous. And what I didn't mention it, but if you click on the top of this track, you can go to the three dots, go to create, go to remix. Where is it at? Go to create. I think because I already did it, that's why. So if you click on a track, you can create what's called a persona. So let me see if I can grab this. Three dots, go to create, and go to make persona, okay? And this will basically save the style of voice for your Suno Studio styles. So let's say we want to do the same exact thing, but now we're going to add a persona, and we're going to use that singer high octave, which is the one we just heard. I like that one. All right, so now let's put what kind of style. Let's say ethereal hip hop. Now in this case, it's going to generate a whole new thing, okay? But we could use this to sing other parts. But again, if you guys want to build off of your beat, you need to make sure that your beat is part of the actual prompt, okay? Because some people might not notice that the beat disappeared. We're going to do add vocals. I guess the add vocals, it picks its own persona, it looks like. Okay, so that's interesting. But if you do persona, it will generate its own music. So that's going to be dope for a future video. So we're going to wrap it here, but let's play that one more time. We went from this, just to give you guys we went from this beat to adding a vocal using our lyrics that fit the beat exactly. Elevated, so high that I levitated. No hesitation when you go for greatness. And in my brain, I was thinking Nipsey Hussle, but this is actually more fire than what I actually heard in my head. That's why Suno is so important. It just does stuff that you would just naturally not think of, and it makes it even better. So if you want to learn more about Suno Studio, go to busyworksbeats.com. By the time this video is up, it should be live on our website, and I will be adding to the course of the cool stuff that I find. All right, y'all, subscribe if you're new. Peace.